Welcome to the ultimate destination for all things entertainment. Get ready for exclusive access to the hottest movies, shows, music, and everything in between. From blockbuster premieres to behind-the-scenes action, Andrew Schulz on interviewing Trump, embracing Netflix, and finding comedy in his fertility struggles. On paper, everything was going swimmingly for comedian Andrew Schulz. The New York-reared stand-up was selling out arenas, including Madison Square Garden, twice, and his Flagrant podcast, one of his two pods, was gaining considerable steam. In fact, by October, he'd booked then-presidential nominee Donald Trump as a guest in the all-important lead-up to the election. But the hour comedy special that Schulz was readying for Netflix, which officially dropped earlier this week, told a different story. The hour, like his last tour, is titled Life, and it's easily his most personal material to date. In it, Schulz shares the painful journey that he and his wife went on to conceive their first child. It was kind of a crazy thing to do, he admits now. The biggest tour of my life. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll tell a story. I've never done that. Yeah, I'll walk up there in front of 15,000 people and be like, yo, my sperm doesn't swim. Let's see how that works out. Ultimately, Schulz's story had a happy ending, as the couple celebrated their daughter's first birthday last month. He took time away from her to talk about finding humor in their fertility struggles, as well as the repercussions of his Trump interview, his frustrations with Hollywood, and his adventures in the Joe Rogan manosphere. Okay, it was funny at the beginning. I remember the first time we had sex to have a baby. I'd just come back from Burning Man, and I remember my wife being like, okay, let's start. And I remember there was a little part of me that was like, that sperm is like half Molly. I'd be fine if it didn't work this month. That's what I said to myself, and then you start spiraling. What if the kid ended up being a serial killer? Is it because I'm doing fucking crazy drugs at Burning Man? So, that was the first time. But then when it didn't work for a few months, I started talking on stage about what a lie it all is. This idea, or just practice safe sex, and all this other stuff that they tell you, that I was terrified about my whole life. I just felt like I had wasted so much stress throughout my life. Yeah, at this point, I don't know that there's anything wrong with my sperm. As a dude, you're so fucking arrogant. You can't imagine there could be anything wrong with it. This is how arrogant I was. The night before we both got checked, I prayed it was my fault, because I didn't want my wife to deal with the heartbreak. She was already telling me her theories. She'd be like, I had my laptop on my stomach when I'd watch movies as a kid and that fucking zapped my ovaries. And then I remember the doctor telling us that hers were perfect and that my sperm sucks. Even that was a funny moment because I was like, oh God, of all the things that I've prayed for in my life, the amount of snow days when I didn't have my homework done, this is the one you answer.